It's 2490. Earth's last maternity ward closes its doors, not because of war, not because of disease. Break time equals 600 mens, because no one came. The city stands empty. The quantum leap. Today, we trace the science that predicted this. Here at the Quantum Leap, science fiction that isn't fiction. South Korea, 0.75 births per woman. Samsung built civilization disappearing, not from war, not from disease, from success. A 2026 arXiv paper argues this isn't unique, it's universal. Darren Dougan, arXiv 2602, 8188. Depopulation has a new great filter. Darwin's logic inverts. The fittest reproduce least. That's why the galaxy is silent. We're looking at ourselves. Enrico Fermi asked it at lunch, where is everybody? The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Life had time. We've listened for 70 years. Silence, total unbroken silence. Robin Hanson named it in 1998, the Great Filter. Something filters nearly everything between dead matter and spacefaring civilizations. Critical question, is the filter behind us or ahead? Behind us, we already passed life's hardest hurdles. Relief. Ahead of us, something kills advanced civilizations. Every single one. Dougan's 2026 paper proposes a third answer, nobody considered. Not bombs, not AI. Intelligence itself doing its job. We'll return to the data, but consider 2085 first. UN World Population Prospects 2024 peak at 10.3 billion, mid-2080s. Then the descent begins. Mathematically robust, demographically irreversible. What strikes us, no program has ever reversed this trend. Japan, Germany, Russia, advanced, declining, failed to reverse it. When we read this paper, we check the methodology twice. Dougan's mechanism is simple, almost elegant, and deeply unsettling. Now, let's look at what the science actually shows. The mechanism begins 600 million years ago. First predator. Predation pressure drives reproduction. More offspring, higher survival odds. This is Darwinism at its core. Reproduce or disappear. Remove the predator, eliminate disease, add economic security. The evolutionary pressure reverses. Fewer offspring becomes the optimal strategy. Quality of life investment and fewer children outcompetes high quantity reproduction. This inversion, every modernizing country converges without exception. South Korea, 0.75. Chile, 0.92. Japan, 115. US, 153. Chile reached sub-replacement fertility within one human generation of modernizing. That isn't policy failure. The mechanism is working as designed. SIBO now projects US deaths exceeding births before 2030. Not a projection, a measurement waiting to happen. China loses 786 million people by end of this century. That is not a crisis, a civilization beginning its exit. Now a moment of honest epistemic clarity requires us. Dougan's paper is a preprint, not yet peer-reviewed. The demographic data it cites is rigorously verified. What's remarkable, the demographic facts alone are peer-reviewed, extensively. 63 countries pass peak. UN confirms 80% probability this century. These aren't forecasts, these are measurements. That distinction matters. Drop your prediction in the comments, we track convergences. The Bailey 2023 paper adds a second, unexpected filter. Mark Bailey, National Intelligence University 2023. AI as late-stage filter. Not AI destroying humanity. AI arriving as populations collapse. Demographic filter empties cities. AI fills the vacuum. Counterintuitive. South Korea's birth rate slightly rose in 2025, from 0.72 to 0.75. Still terminal, but direction changed. Dougan's model accounts for this. Small reversals, arc unchanged. No government has reversed sub-replacement fertility nationally. Hungary, Sweden, Singapore. Massive incentive programs, marginal results. Royal Society 2022. Asymptotic burnout, a systems explanation. When civilization becomes one vast virtual connected city, growth becomes unsustainable. System stabilizes or collapses. They call it homeostatic awakening. Huck Misra, 2009, said at first exponential growth isn't sustainable. Civilizations either collapse or adopt slow growth patterns that limit expansion. Either way, you don't colonize galaxies. You manage a planet. This is where three papers converge. The picture is striking. Depopulation filter, asymptotic burnout, AI vacuum, three independent mechanisms, all pointing at the same conclusion from different directions. Then June 2026 happened and changed the equation entirely. So far, these look like parallel stories. They aren't. June 12, 2026. SpaceX IPO. Largest in history. $77 trillion. The S1 contained a sentence no financial document had before. Quote, civilization confined to one planet faces existential threats. 63 countries pass population peak, not projections, measurements. China loses 786 million people by 2100. A civilization exiting. Dougan's model runs forward. Extinction threshold arrives post-2500. If this mechanism is universal, the Fermi Paradox solves itself. Every civilization reaching technological maturity hit this same inversion. No war, no asteroid, just the logic of becoming civilized. Back to Musk, a compensation structure unlike any other. 1 billion shares. One condition, self-sustaining Mars City 1 million. Not a research base, not a flag, a civilization backup. The S1 quotes Asimov's foundation, civilization backup, directly. Musk at Davos 2026. His empire is humanity's sole insurance. He commissioned a great filter sculpture in 2022. Two paths. Two paths, two futures. No claim about which is inevitable. That ambiguity is deliberate and scientifically honest. The counter-argument deserves a full scene. Immigration could stabilize populations. True for individual nations. Globally, fertility convergence is mathematically consistent. Immigration moves people. It doesn't create them. Here's the question. What would you have done? Knowing this mechanism, would you have chosen differently? This is where Dougan's paper becomes personal. Not abstract. Personal. The galaxy's silence may be evidence of success, not failure. Every civilization at our level made the same calculation. Stopped. The galaxy isn't hostile, it's post-reproductive. A civilization of elders. Musk's SpaceX bonus only unlocks with 1 million Mars residents. Not a satellite, not a research base. A self-sustaining city. The SpaceX S1 isn't about profit, it's about the timeline. The threat isn't an asteroid, it's demographic mathematics running. His $165 billion payday ties to civilization having a backup. He read the great filter paper, build company, selling insurance. The SpaceX paradox, Mars treats symptoms, won't raise birth rates, but it preserves a breeding population. New environment, new calculus. On Mars, under survival pressure, the inversion may not apply. A 2025 arXiv paper models relativistic time dilation colonies. A small breeding population in dilated time outlasts demographic collapse. This is speculative physics, the demographic need driving it. Real. What does all this mean for the next 50 years? The Fermi Paradox was never about them, always about us. Let's be precise, what we know versus what we're inferring. Known global fertility declining, 63 countries past peak, UN confirms. Known, no advanced society has reversed sub-replacement fertility, not one. Inferred, not proven. This applies universally to all species. A hypothesis, compelling but requiring alien biology we lack. The honest position, depopulation, is the most parsimonious new answer. No exotic physics needed. No alien psychology. Just Darwinian logic. Scientists who watched Contact in 1997 now build the telescopes. We checked 10 million star systems with breakthrough. Listen. Silence. JWST surveys, no biosignatures in 200 observed exoplanet atmospheres. Either life is extraordinarily rare or fails to signal. Depopulation hypothesis. Life reaches signal level, then quietly stops transmitting. They chose quality over quantity and quietly disappeared. A framework to evaluate future demographic research as it publishes. Track TFR, the 63-country threshold, and any reversal above 1.5. If any nation reverses sub-replacement fertility for a decade, significant. If the trend continues unreversed, the 2026 hypothesis grows compelling. We've built a civilization, the greatest achievement in biology. We ended predation, cured our grandparents' diseases, connected the world. In doing so, we may have activated an evolutionary trap. It's 2041. You're in a city that runs itself perfectly. Work is meaningful. Life is good. Outside, the city quiets. You don't notice it happening. That's the filter working. The Fermi Paradox wasn't about aliens. It was a mirror. Hanson asked in 1998, are we almost past the filter? The answer: we are the filter, not the survivors. Intelligence evolved to solve everything except its own logic. Two futures diverge from this exact moment in 2026. In 2100, fertility rebuilt through cultural reinvention. In the other, managed decline and the Mars city launched. The difference: decisions being made right now, in 2026. The quantum leap traces the future, paper by paper. Somewhere now, a researcher is modeling how many remain. You don't know their name yet. That's how futures arrive. Dougan's model shows extinction beginning after 2500. Not fixed. A warning dressed as mathematics. We arrived in time. The full paper, arXiv 2602. 8188 is free. Read it. We trace civilizational science so you can engage, not consume. The galaxy isn't silent because nobody made it. Everyone did. Drop your prediction, full case file pinned in the comments.